Good afternoon. I don't do many weekly afternoon lives, Mark. I've got sort of it's just something I don't really do. Obviously, I'm a fairly busy person with my job. I'm currently on annual leave, so I thought, you know what, wandered off playing Fortnite with Leah. I've just watched your Great British Beer Festival video.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. I've commented on it. Don't comment again because don't comment back because I'm not allowed to comment.
Any of the comments on it yet because I thought I'd give it a couple of hours because I might upset a couple of people with that one.
Well, Wanda said I'm not allowed to comment on certain things, so and I have.
Did you watch it through to the end?
I've not got to. Well, I got a little way through, mate. And to be fair, what I did was I thought, you know what, Wanda's up. She said, "Why don't you do a live for an hour?" I thought I was sat here. We'd been to Witherspoon, had a couple of beers and spoons because we're both off. And I thought I'm gonna be honest, as I'm an honest person. Bumped into Dean this morning. And had a coffee with Dean because Dean is a lovely, lovely guy. I said to him, I'm going to do a live. If you want an hour, then let me know. But he's up at 2:00. So I thought, you know what? I sat and watched your video, seen that you were struggling with your mental health. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to reach out to my mate and see if you want to do an hour's live with me.
But he wasn't around, so you asked me instead.
Yeah, basically, you were second best, Mark.
That's much appreciated. Thank you. I mean, yeah, I was going to do a live myself on Saturday, but I sort of put that off for another week just because 2-hour live in the way I am at the moment wouldn't be good. But this is fine. Yeah, this is great because I wasn't expecting it. I was watching Paper Girls.
What's that?
Paper Girls. It's a new Amazon. Is it Amazon? Yeah, I think it's an Amazon show. It's a bit like Stranger Things, but it's called Paper Girls.
Mark, before you continue, mate, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kick you out of the stream because you're coming across as quite it's quite crackly. So just rejoin it with the link I've sent you, and we'll come back in. All right, pal. Right.
No,
Right, we'll just get Mark. We'll get Mark back in a minute. It looks like his internet is struggling ever so slightly, so we'll get him back in. But there's a story with Mark. I've probably told you. Used to be called Matt Mells. Actually banned him from the channel. And Darren, thank you very much, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Hello, Dean. Let's have a go at
that. Is it better?
Much better. Much better. You don't sound
I pressed a button on the phone to see if I could see the comments, and I think I pressed the wrong thing when I came back.
So you come. It was like Norman Collier, and I mean I could pick you
Norman
up.
Collier. You're showing your age there, Scott.
Yeah, we're not far apart, mate, are we? Do we?
Well,
4 years.
I'm 4 or 5 years older than you. It's a long time. Trust me. Yeah. But,
so we got. I don't know if you've come across Mr. Stella Boxhead.
Yes, I have.
Darren is a lovely, lovely guy. Does some really, really, really good beer reviews as well, as well as his gaming. And I don't think he's too far from Dave in sort of the Midlands area. Just a nice chap. Dean's in, one of the nicest guys, and one of my best friends. I'm not too shy to admit that he's a lovely guy, as Dean. No point asking you to sort out this internet. Well, not this week. Easily done. Yeah. So I just thought, you know what? I don't like seeing people struggle. And I know you live on your own.
Don't come round here then.
Or here, pub. Sometimes.
Don't come round here very often. It's a long way. A long way.
But we've become. Well, how long have we? You got in contact with me probably. Was it about September time, October?
Could have been, yeah. When I was going to send you those beers, wasn't it? Oh, hang on. There's the obligatory train that always comes when I turn my phone on.
We need the train. So obviously, the people that don't know the story between me and you used to be called the man that was Matt Mells.
Apparently.
Apparently, no, there's no
I'll
there's
keep that quiet. I keep that quiet.
no
He was
scientific proof
horrible.
of this.
He was
Sorry.
horrible, Matt Mills. He was horrible.
No, to be fair, he wasn't. He was very direct.
No, he
We
was
had
just
some
horrible.
back and forth, and
Yes.
I'm not going to embarrass you with the story.
No, as you can see, I'm not making direct eye contact when you tell me. Never do.
Yeah, we had some back and forth. I ended up blocking you, and there was a video out there where I'm not going to say what the video is. I don't give a shit anymore.
I can't remember.
No, but I saw you were actually sort of defending me and Wanda, so I think I unblocked you and I said, "Look, let's see if we can move forward." And since then, we've actually become quite good friends.
We have, yes. It's quite surprising sometimes, isn't it? You have to sort of go down before you can go up again. And yeah, I mean, I didn't see it coming. It wasn't something that, you know, I set out to say, oh, I'm going to repair all these YouTube people I've insulted because I'd be here till Christmas.
Join the queue, mate. I mean,
there was something on YouTube that just didn't sit right with me. I can't even remember what it was now, but that's honest to God true. I can't remember the video, so I'm not just ducking that. But I saw something and it just didn't sit right, so I said something. But when I say my comments, I normally just get abuse back or that's it. And yeah, and then you said what you said, and that was nice. And then it just sort of went from there, really, didn't it? And then I tried to send you some beer terribly.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Well, you got the beer twice, but you ended up paying 10 quid for some of it.
I didn't mind that though. I think there was a
the bonus was you got better beer the second time because I sent Overtone the second time, direct from Overtone.
I did. I'm going to be completely honest. I did get a better beer the second time because we had that cherry sour, which was fucking terrible.
Well, that's me asking the guy in the beer shop, what can I get that Scottish that I can send to someone that doesn't cost a fortune and I can just send? So he gave me those things. Where Overtone I knew was pretty solid. So I thought, you know what? Let them deal with the post. Just send it.
But yeah, and they were all fantastic. I did some of them on a couple of Christmas lives.
They're pretty solid.
I've still got a couple of the cans in the shed. Actually, I've come outside. A, I'm closer to the fucking broadband, and B, it's red hot in there. It's like an oven.
Quite lucky.
So I've just come and sat outside, but yeah, I saw your video earlier, and I watch all your videos, and
oh, that's nice.
I don't always comment. I'm a bad commenter.
Oh no, I always say to people, if people comment on mine, I would always comment back. But I don't expect people to leave comments on every video I make because you'd be there till Christmas, wouldn't you? Doing it and all that. You know,
I think
comment on people that reply back.
When we started out and the channel was really sort of a bit small. I was like, it's not massive now. I mean, I'm not going to delude myself. But
how many subscribers?
I don't look. Hang on, I don't actually look. Let me have a look. 3,276. And you know, thank you to everybody that subscribed.
Pretty good. 3,000.
I made a point of replying to every comment, and then I got a bit lackadaisical with that, and I've tried to repair that over the last probably 6 weeks or so, and it'll take me a little bit of time because obviously I've got a job, I've got a life, and it sometimes I get a bit lazy with that. I don't mean to. It's just that sometimes I'll sit down to think I'm going to do this now. And what I tend to do is sort of let the comments build up and then reply in sort of bursts. Whereas what I try and do now is as soon as a comment comes in, I reply to it automatically.
That's what I try and do. But it's easier for me because I've only got about 150 subscribers. So.
Yeah, but you're doing. I know Steve's in.
I'm very happy with 150 subscribers. That's quite a massive amount for me. You know, so
I know Steve's in the chat. I know Steve's got 200. And I was looking. I had a flick through today. I had about spare 10 minutes. I had a flick through to see how guys are going on, etc. And it's nice. It's nice to see. Let's choose my words. Genuinely nice people, sort of pressing on a little bit, should we say?
Yeah. Well, I remember when I first found YouTube. And the first sort of beer review I found was Craig because I met him down in London and knew nothing about people doing videos on YouTube. And I met him and he tried to record us, and my friend didn't want anything to do with it, so he tagged along with us, but he didn't video any of that. But when I got back home, I checked him out, and he had, I think at the time, 25 subscribers, and that was probably about 5-6 years ago. And Craig's got over 1,000 subscribers now, probably 2,000. Oh no, not that hat. So when I met Craig, he had 20 odd subscribers, and he's got what, a couple of thousand now, Craig, something like that.
I think he's got. I don't know with Craig.
Or whatever it is.
I think he's got about 1,100, something like that.
Oh, 1,100, but he only had 22 when I met him. So he's done very well, you know, and that was, I think, 4.5, 5 years ago or something. So,
I mean, I've always been very honest about our channel. I set it up to genuinely just take the piss out of Wanda, and her hatred of beer. I'm at a stage now. We've been into Lidl today. She's picked up a Love Lane. I think she picked up 2 of the Stewart. I can't give it away actually because it's coming out.
All right, don't say what they are.
Has it gone out? I don't know if it's gone out. We picked up the Stewart cocoa nut stout. Fucking hell's coming out. Fucking spider.
I'm not a big
spider on my leg.
Spider? Oh no, get them away from me. I don't like spiders.
Yeah, it's right. I'm not a massive fan. It was crawling up my leg mark.
I tend to steer clear of any stouts out of Aldi and Lidl, and B&M and Home. I don't
know if obviously you're north of the border. If they had the Love Lane and the Stewart Brewing one, both really for the price, mate, they're really really good.
They should have Stewart Brewing because they're Scottish, aren't they? So.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I was saying it's quite funny in the video. It'll probably be out tomorrow. Now that I thought about that, I was searching around saying, "Are they in Edinburgh? Are they in Edinburgh?" And I was searching on a whole can. And one turns around to me and said, "It's round the rim," in big letters, so I couldn't even see it. But they're both great beers, and obviously, if she likes them, and we've turned her into someone that didn't like. Right, 2 seconds. The lady is just going to say something to me.
Yeah. I don't know. What shall I talk about? Don't feel like I should talk about. It's not my live, so.
That's right. I'm just I'm being read the riot act.
What, for coming on live?
No. Certain subjects I'm allowed to speak about.
Oh, okay. It's Chinese TV censorship.
Chinese TV.
Yeah. Don't mention this, and this.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah. So Mr. Stiller Box here said, some of my best friends I fell out with before we became mates. I don't. It's quite funny. I'm very lucky, and I class myself as lucky that I've made some very good friends from this, and I treasure. I've learned to treasure those friendships.
Well, you've met them, haven't you, as well? A lot of them. So you've actually.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I'm lucky with Dean. Dean was the first channel person that really reached out to us as a couple, and I've never ever forgot that. And I've tried to almost take on what Dean did, which was to help reach down and help channels up a little bit. And I take a little bit of pride in that. If I can help some subscribers your way, or Steve's way, or whoever's way, really, I'm very lucky in a position that I can do that. I've made some friends with Chris and Dave, that and yourself, that I'm very lucky with, and people like Brad, Darren, Mr. Stiller Box here. I don't have a lot to do with Darren, but he's a lovely guy. And there are other people that there's a guy that doesn't come on our channel very often, through somebody else. And it's not a channel. It was a live I did with Dean, and I got quite friendly with a guy that's had a really shit life. Now, somebody upset him on one of our live streams, and it was. I finished the live stream with Dean, and I was in tears actually, because I'd upset this guy, and it's only in about the last 2 or 3 weeks that I've been able to probably 6 months that we've communicated again a little bit via WhatsApp, and I'm very pleased that YouTube is irrelevant in all that. Is the stuff that goes on in people's lives,
Much more.
personal lives. If I can, or anybody, we were outside today. We've done a tip run today, Mark, and so a tip run. So loaded up the car for a fucking dump run, tip run. Bloke comes across the road and he says to me, "Hello, Scott." I'm like, "Hello." Yeah, like, who are you? I'm like, "Hello." He said, he said, "I love your channel with you and Wanda." And he lives across the road.
He lives across the road.
Lives across the road, and he offered something. He said that if we do anything for Great Ormond Street, he's got some stuff he can offer for charity and to auction. And those are the nice things about YouTube, because there's some horrible shit, but there's some nice stuff as well, mate.
There is. It is a strange old thing, the old YouTube, I must admit. It's the only social media I get involved in. I'm not on any of the other channels, Facebook or any of that stuff. And it is a strange old beast. And I think the biggest enemy is yourself, as in me, when I'm on it, you know. But as a wise older YouTuber said to me only the other week, you've got to be yourself. And the more you try not to be yourself, the more damage you end up doing anyway. So at least if you're yourself and you will upset the odd person, at least you can look yourself in the mirror and say, well, I was only being myself, and I don't intentionally go out to upset anyone. But of course, in life, you can't agree and like everybody.
I think that's also the thing is I'm someone that if I've got a problem, I'll say it.
Yeah.
And not everybody likes that. And I understand that. We're not. If we were all the same, then the world's going to be a really boring place. And
it would be.
I'm lucky that Wanda reels me in sometimes as well.
It's good to have someone that can do that. I could do with someone just to occasionally say, look, don't record today. Don't make that video in your hotel at 11 at night feeling miserable, and stick it out.
But I like your videos, and
that was just me being me, though. You know, that's just.
But I think that's the thing is, if you put on any sort of character, so if you're trying to be somebody that's not necessarily like a wrestling character when you're blowing yourself up to 10 or something like that, and that's where most of the best wrestling characters come from, is themselves, but a massive version of themselves. I don't think it works, and I think people see through that sort of fairly quickly.
It works for a while, but then you can't. No one can keep that persona up, because bits of you will creep in, and eventually people will say, "Hang on," and so I think it depends why people set their channels up as well, because a lot of people, they set them up as probably you did and I done, as a laugh and a joke and just a way of maybe having something to do and a bit of this and a bit of that, with never any intention of thinking of it's going to be a full-time job or make any money out of it. But a lot of the younger people, or not even all the younger people, but a lot of people maybe 10, 15 years younger, they literally think, oh, we can become influencers, or so they're literally setting up, what can I do to become big and famous? So they are not really being themselves, I think, from the start.
You made a really good point. I was watching the GBBF video, and I'm not going to go into the wherefores and whatfalls from it.
That came out today, didn't it? That one?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I must have done, because I only made it this morning. Yeah.
I can get a trade pass. I can get a trade ticket. But I don't, because I think it's really important that I fund my own way, and I've been like it since I was born, and I have a general thinking that if you don't fund your way, these things will go. But also, I can be truer to myself. If I'm not taking something from somebody, I have a duty, because I've paid for something, that I have a duty to be honest about it.
Yes. I probably didn't put it across as well as I should have done on that trade pass thing, because I've had the odd thing from Canberra myself when I lived in Ely.
Camera's a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, well, I have a love, as in a hate relationship with Canberra, as in I'm not a big fan. But I had occasional trade passes that my local pub used to give out and say, look, we've got the landlord of my local pub back down south said, look, I can't make him, can you go on my behalf? And so I was doing him a favour. But I never would go down all the drinks and just, because it's never been what I'm about. And I don't know. And I just was watching a couple of the videos yesterday, and just some of them just didn't feel right. It was trade day in the morning, wasn't it?
Make your skin, make your skin crawl, mate.
Yeah.
I commented on your video.
And then he popped up, and that just annoyed me even more. And I knew he'd be there, and he popped up on a video, and I thought, no, don't talk to him. I'd much rather on Saturday. So we've got down 2 years in the making. Actually, did this one. So on HMS Warrior, down in the dockyard, we've got Warrior Fest from Staggeringly Good. So Staggeringly Good are doing their Warrior Fest. We've had tickets for 2 years, so we're going to go down there. I would much rather support a local beer festival than anything run by camera. Yeah. Well, the trouble with the craft, that's the good thing. I mean, as you say, it's local. Staggeringly Good, you've been a big supporter of them. You mentioned them a lot, and they are brewery in your town, and also that some of that money there'll be other food stalls, I can imagine, from other people local and stuff. So all that money helps keep that area going. Where if you're going to UK Craft Beer Festival, the owners of Earl's Court probably rake half of it in their high rent charge. Canberra will cop the rest, and who really gains out of it?
Well, Canberra.
Yeah,
Canberra can gain out of it, and the organisers of the event. And I did look at LCBF, which was I think that's next weekend. Sun's gone down a bit now.
London Craft Festival, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the trouble is you get it's the all-in ticket. So for me and Wanda, 2 all-in tickets is £120.
Beer that come with all the beer.
Yeah, with all your beer, but then I've got train fares there and back as well.
That was the point I made in the video.
And I'm not being funny. I ain't fucking made of money.
No. Well, you would go and then literally get the last train home, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to add on a hotel, and I've just come back from spending 4 nights in an awful travel lodge.
No, I saw your video.
It had no air conditioning. It was hotter in the room than it was outside, and the Saturday night rate of that was 150 quid, which I booked 4 months in advance. 4 nights cost me 360 quid, of which Saturday was nearly a third of that. And that was booked 4 months in advance. If you literally book it like a week before, you'd pay £200 a night. So unless you're living in London, or wherever the beer festival is, these beer festivals are not cheap.
No.
And you could spend that money at your local brewery and have a load of beer in your fridge instead. I know it's not the same, but
I've got a job. I've got a family to support. I've got to pay my ex-wife £277 a month for something I don't see. And you know what? I can't afford to go to all these beer festivals. No. I don't get the handouts.
You went to the one earlier this year in London, didn't you?
We went to Brew London.
Brew London, yeah.
Well, I enjoyed that. I
looked good. I saw all the videos, and the video stopped me making an anti-Brew London video.
I don't think
I was going to make an anti-Brew London video. But
I don't think
the videos, and they were.
Yeah, I don't think I'll go back. Let me just read through these comments. David Thompson, the northern correspondent from our channel. Thank you, David. Thank you everything you do for me, because he sends me a lot of stuff on Instagram, and is genuinely, along with Wanda, is one of the people that finds the beers for me. So, David, thank you ever so much, buddy. We really appreciate it. Brad Evans says, "Oh, look, it's the beer snob with the old moaning git." David Thomas says the moaning git on the left. depending on which way you're looking at it.
Just me.
Right act again. Stuntman Steve says, Scott, your help with my YouTube journey was amazing. Thank you. I'm always ready to help. I am. It's just I like helping people. Mark Jones says, good evening, you mad bunch. Looks warmed down. Yeah, it's just nice now. It's just begun going a little bit. It's always cold up in Scotland.
Well, no, actually, today's the nicest it's been now, actually. It's been raining most of the morning, but it's actually okay now.
Oh, okay. Darren says, what's been thrown away should have been offered out to subscribers first. Down there, I meant bloody predictive text. Jamie L. I've seen that you've seen Pearl Jam in London, Scott. I travelled to Belgium to see them and to sample a few beers, of course. Brilliant stuff. Pearl Jam, I've been a fan of Pearl Jam for 31 years. So since I was 16 years old, I've seen them either 4 or 5 times. I'm very lucky that I got Wanda into them as well. She identifies with certain of their songs. Obviously, we got engaged on stage in front of 700 people with their tribute group. We had some of them at our wedding, and it was the first real festival I've ever been to, and I felt a bit out of place until they came on, and they're just a fantastic group. And for a group that are pushing 60, all of them, it's incredible.
60,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were around in the 80s, weren't they? Late 80s?
91.
91, okay.
Yeah, 91 they came around, and I've loved them ever since. It's just them. You've probably never heard of the Wild Hearts. The Wild Hearts.
No, I've heard you mention them. I must admit, I wouldn't know any of their music.
We were in Hastings in the big Tesco's down there, and some bloke walked around with a Wild Hearts t-shirt, and I just said to him, "Fucking great group, mate." And he's like,
"Are they from that area?"
They're from Newcastle.
Oh, so no then. So
no was the answer to that.
Oh, you told everyone where you've been on holiday now. Then that's not a secret anymore.
To be fair, I think I put the true crime video up for
I haven't
the
watched
premiere.
That I haven't watched
it's
that.
all right. Well, I don't know about the video. I've watched it. Well, I watched some of it through, but I'll just comment on it. I put it up before we came home, and the only reason I don't tell people where they are is people hate me. They might stab me.
I think you're very wise not to. I mean, there's me telling everyone I'm on the train coming down to London and stuff. You know, for all I know, snipers are ready or that. But no, I think you're much more wiser. Not the bigger your subscriber base as well means you're going to get more people that are going to be disliked.
And it's always weird that we don't, obviously we've still got a relatively small channel in this weird thing that's called YouTube, but when people come up, like the guy earlier that lives literally just across the road from you, and it's like, all right, Scott, and it's like, all right, I still don't know how to deal with that. I've never have done.
I've never had anyone say anything to me yet about that, so I'm pretty pleased.
No, you just get the death emails. Benjamin,
I got a couple of them, yeah, but you know what? That's fine. As long as they're emails, I can live with them.
Yeah, Benjamin, hope you're doing well, mate. Me and Benjamin have a check of past. We fall out every now and then, but do you know what?
Yeah,
I listen.
Stuff.
Yeah, and he's a good lad. He's all right. You know what? I don't mind people with opinion.
Yeah,
I've got no problem with that.
Saying, as long as they keep it civil, and I must admit, Benjamin doesn't always agree with everything I say either. But he's never ever said anything that you would think I'm blocking him. Which is great.
Dickheads in. People set a channel up because they're lazy and think they can make quick, easy money with bugger all talent. I don't disagree with a single word, Dave.
But do you know what? Some of them do, though, don't they? Some of them do make a lot of money with no talent. That's the sad thing about today's life.
But it's like our channel. I mean, we put that kite up.
You put more than one kite. I saw you had a Peppa Pig kite.
Well, it's Daddy Pig actually. So Daddy Pig kite is done. It's just generating. It's deciding now. 16,200 views for a
No, people love a kite.
For a kite, well, I said to Wanda, I woke up this morning. I said I'm going to change the name of the channel. She said, "What are you going to change it to?" I said, "Scott and Wanda's Kite World."
Yeah. You suddenly will you'll be up there with the True Geordie, 500,000 or whatever subscribers.
Well, I said to Dean when I had a coffee with Dean this morning. So I think the top 2 videos are take the kite out of it. No, keep the kite in. So the kite video, the video that shall not be named.
Yeah.
About a certain person.
I still watch that occasionally when I'm just fed up. I like the start bit. You know, there was a bit in the court with the Tom Cruise movie.
I think it works all right.
Yeah.
The third best video is away from a live stream is a Tesco car wash.
I've seen that one. Yes.
Which is got 13.
Shocking that Tesco's car wash.
So I've decided I'm going to do a video of me going through a car wash with Wanda with a kite in her hand, me with a Brewdog beer, and a McDonald's.
Yeah, well, yours is reasonably easy for me to do my best for you. It would involve somebody from Wales, some ice cream, and London Bridge.
Well, exactly. And
the thing is, I'm just thinking I could push him off London Bridge while having an ice cream from Edinburgh. That would do me.
I mean, the thing that the shorts thing is there's a story. There's a story with the shorts. So the shorts don't get monetized. You can monetize it
until you told me.
Right. So what happened was I put the Daddy Pig short up, and it was unmonetized, and it did 1,000 views in 50 minutes. I thought, okay, I'll monetize it. So I monetize it. You don't get if you monetize it, you don't get anything anyway. So I monetized it, and it got no views for an hour. So I unmonetized it again, and it's up 15,000 after it.
So is that YouTube sort of playing around?
Of course it is. I don't care. I just play around. Where are my comments gone? I just laugh along with it. So it becomes sort of I play along. I like yesterday's video about the Scottish Little Soldiers. I don't know if
I saw that.
Didn't monetize it, so I've made no money out of that. And I just don't think that's right. I don't think it's right to monetize anything like that.
No, I agree.
Raggy says, "Evening lads, I so dislike camera up their own asses."
He gets a mention in my video, Raggy. If you watch
he
gets a mention.
Dave says hi to David. Everyone's saying hello. You. Darren says, "What's next for the perfect draft review, Dave? I'm missing the massive head pause. I'm not buying anything for the perfect draft at the moment because the kegs are too fucking expensive."
Yes, you saw my video on that.
I did.
I got a little bit of stick from a couple of people on that. Not bad stick, but just people reminding me what they still do.
I had this conversation with Wanda in Wetherspoons earlier. I get a bit fed up with the people defending the perfect draft of Beer Hawk, saying, "Well, you've only bought one." Yeah, I have only bought one because I can only fucking afford one. I can't afford to buy 3 to get my 15% off. So no, I'm not saving fucking anything.
I mean, if you drink, they last a long time, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to buy in big bulk.
They don't with me. It's about a day and a half, mate.
If they started selling them in the shops, so they said, "Look, you can pick them up. We've done a deal with Sainsbury's that you can pick them up for the same price, but without the delivery in Sainsbury's."
Yep.
And you can drop them off at Sainsbury's, and your tokens will go on when it gets back to us. That would be great, wouldn't it? Then suddenly it opens it up to more people that just want to go around with their shop and say, "Oh, I'll pick up a keg today, put it in, and take it home in their car or walk away or whatever." But to do it the way they do, they're literally forcing you to buy 3.
Yeah.
And they make it very unattractive. And what they've done is, in the good times when everyone was stuck at home and they were saying, "We need you, come on," and everyone came in, and now people are back out again and money's hard, they chose the wrong time to cut the discount.
But you'll get the perfect draft sycophants that just
can't see no wrong.
Yeah, and
I mean, I've had a few people who do videos on the perfect draft who have agreed with me to a point and then put me correct on a couple of things, which is fine because I never pretend that I'm the expert on the perfect draft. Paul make my beer. He's been telling me a couple of things. Baz told me. Dom also told me.
Yeah, Dom. Do you know what? When I get a comment from Dom, I always like them because he goes into a lot of factual stuff.
He does,
and he's very, very good.
Yeah, the first video I saw of his yesterday, where he looked a little bit drunk with his mate. He did. He looks a little bit drunk. If you've not seen it, it's quite funny. You should watch it.
No, I haven't. Let's go through the Jamie L. Evening, Dave. Hope it's all well, mate. Blue Van Man. Don't know who that is. Organise the YouTube Beer Festival. Oh, how would you do that? Would you do it as a virtual thing? We could do that as a virtual thing.
Virtual would be easy because otherwise you got get everyone from. You'd have to meet up in Dave's neck of the woods, Birmingham.
The only thing with doing it virtually is for me, and this is my own personal thing. Any more than 3 on a screen,
no, I'm the same.
Becomes messy.
Yeah, when it gets past 4, and I don't like to say, because Steve's been in the chat, but when Steve has more than 4 on, is normally when I say goodbye. Just not because I don't want to watch anymore. I just too many people talking over each other.
We were going to do the Scott Fest thing where I was going to play music all night, and there were reasons why that didn't happen. I might look at doing that again. The trouble is, a YouTube beer festival, is that with all the YouTubers? I don't want to.
No, because they'd end up being a odd fight, I reckon, wouldn't they?
Well, there would be 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Shark, hello, Kev. I may go to one this year, then go to that one next year. What, Brew London? I hope you enjoy it. I won't be there, mate. It's not for me. Dave says, all good, Jamie. Connor Jackson, hello, mate. Hi, Scott. I hope you're drinking Peroni. I'm drinking, I'm going to be honest, I can't afford expensive craft beer anymore. So if you're expecting on our channel to see anything really expensive, you're going to have to look elsewhere. I'm going to be reviewing stuff I can afford. I'm on Zoom time.
That's good. Well, I drank that. That's good beer. I did that on my live, the Zoom one, and that was all right. I'm on Highland Spring.
Yeah, I'm going to have
Highland Spring. I've tipped normal water in it.
Well, I'm going to get a bottle of water in a minute because I've got 2 beers left. And they're going to be with Wanda when she's finished playing Fortnite with Leah. Well, I say playing Fortnite, she's getting absolutely fucking spastic, smashed in there, I would have thought.
I've never played it.
I'm just no idea. I'm
Pac-Man
fucking useless.
Yeah,
Pac-Man. Jamie L says hello to Dave. Everyone's back. Brad says, I only started listening to Pearl Jam since knowing you, Scott. Never looked back. Absolute spot on. The Northern correspondent, David Thompson, is a massive fan of Ginger Wildhearts. So Ginger is the lead singer of the Wildhearts. He's actually in Hastings. Actually, he's not. He's in Pompey. I think he's in October. He's in an acoustic gig. So we might well be going there if tickets. I think they're about 20 quid a ticket. I can do that.
They split up, haven't they, the Wildhearts? I remember you telling me.
Yeah, about they've been going for 31 years, and they've split up more times than I've had hot dinners.
Yeah, that normally happens.
Yeah, me and Wanda have been to see them. My ex-wife was a Mick Hucknall fan, so I wasn't very lucky that way around. Wanda is more into the music that I like, and vice versa. So we've had some absolutely cracking nights at gigs. We've seen the Wildhearts in London, in Brighton. She took me to an acoustic gig he did when I was going through divorce and was an absolute fucking mess in Southampton. And Wanda is you know Wanda a little bit, and you know that she's one of the most timid people socially you'd ever meet. So he finishes his gig, and all of a sudden she's gone, just fucking gone like a rocket. And the next thing I know, this guy that I've idolised as a singer for 25 years is stood right next to me with his arm around me, and she's gone off and said, she's pulled him over, and it was fantastic. The video and she's. I mean, I do moan about her, but she is fantastic, to be fair. We have our moments.
Everybody moans about something. So
Mine's about Wanda. So what have we got? Let's be honest, says Brad. That's a disgrace. The most viewed videos on this channel should be smashing your head off the deck, Scott. Oh, that fucking video where I hit my fucking head on the floor.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Have you not seen that?
No.
No, put in.
I would have remembered that.
Scott and Wanda Center of Gravity Challenge.
I'll
send you a link. I'll send you a link there.
Yeah. See, I'm old school. I'd write that down on a piece of paper. Send me the links easier. Yeah.
Scott and Wanda. I almost died.
Okay.
Wanda Center of Gravity.
You were filming it when you did that.
Well, this was Wanda's. She'd seen something that she thought would be hilarious to us to try. So we did it there and then, and I literally almost killed myself. I don't know how many views it's got. That's actually quite funny. 793. So it's done all right.
How long's it been out?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on.
I mean, that's a lot of views for me. 700.
A year and something. Yeah. Yeah, 21st of February 21. Right. But it was another one of Wanda's absolute mental ideas that she thought she'd try and kill me with. And she had plenty of them. Benjamin, I've got a simple rule for commenting on the internet. I say and speak to people in ways I would be happy to face. If I have an opinion on here, it's the same I would say if I was there. And do you know what, mate? I know me and you we've had some ding dongs, and I don't mind that. I don't mind people sharing their opinion. I'll quite happily come back with it, and we'll have a ding dong. We'll move on. I don't take offence to it. I'm not like that.
No, I mean I try not to be as well. I sometimes can get a little bit. If I feel like I've upset someone that I sort of know a bit more on YouTube than maybe just the name, then I sometimes take it to heart a little bit and go, "Oh, I didn't mean to upset them." But I tend to realise now that most of these people like yourself and that are quite thick-skinned and will say, "Do you know what? It's just a bit of YouTube. You haven't come around my house and broke my window or anything, so it's no big deal, you know."
What I've learned is when we first started doing this is I can be quite feisty, so I'll come back and Wanda turned around to me one day. She said, "You can't do that. You need to listen." I'm gonna put my hat back on. It's fucking bright. You need to listen. Or read the comments and reply accordingly. And I thought, so I've got a very simple rule, and the simple rule is you can say what you like, and if I don't like it, I will block you. If it's offensive, that is. Yeah. If it's offensive, I will block you. Don't say anything about Wanda.
Yeah, well,
because she's the most innocent part in it.
Exactly. No one should anyway, because you know any beef that's gone on in any of your videos is never involved Wanda, is it? So
and there's
people use it as an excuse to get at you. I think.
I mean, there's been the best comment we've ever had was, "I'd love to take Wanda behind that shed and do something to her." And all I replied was, "Fuck me, you must be well small. There's only 3 inches beyond there."
You did very well, because that probably would have annoyed me.
It did, but it was.
You took Wanda's advice and gave her nice.
Yeah.
They wanted you to get angry.
Yeah, some of them do.
Yeah.
And
you're absolutely right. I realise that now. People want you to get angry because they've got no, they just don't care.
Nope.
Just don't care. They haven't got any feelings, or until it affects them personally, they just don't care, because they're a million miles away, so they feel as protected and as safe until someone bashes their door down.
There's no moral compass anymore. And
they wouldn't say that when you're standing next to them.
Oh, I know that.
You know.
I know that. Paul Greenwood, sorry, Innocent Gun. Hello, mate. How you doing? Innocent Gun, new keg. Can't afford it, mate.
I saw who reviewed that. Was it Baz? Reviewed
I
it
haven't seen that.
yesterday. I'm not a fan of Innocent Gun. They're up here, and I've had a couple of their beers on draft in a Wetherspoons, funny enough, a few years ago, and they all seem fake. They're these barrel aged things that they bring out, and the bottles are like £4, and they just don't feel the same as when you have a proper barrel aged beer. In my opinion. You know?
I've not had much Innocent Gun to be able to.
You've not missed anything, I don't think.
In that case,
personally, I mean, there'll be some people shouting at me saying, "No, you're wrong, Mark." But they've been around a long, long time, even before craft was craft. You used to be able to buy them in Waitrose 10, 12, 14 years ago. So, all these people that have been reviewing beer for 6, 7 years start shouting at me, say, "No, look, I drunk them 14, 15 years ago. Trust me, they weren't that great then." So that's why I get some people sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mr. Stella Box said, so Darren says, the kegs don't last a long time here. I got fed up with buying supermarket beer and 50% of it being average at best. I do like the perfect draft machine and will continue to buy beer on it. Well, okay. And you know what? If you can afford to buy the kegs, mate, all power to you. I had this conversation with Wanda. Obviously, she bought it for my birthday, and I love my perfect draft. I think it's fantastic. Every beer I've had from that has been really good. I was very lucky that someone sent one to me. That was really good as well. I just can't afford to go out and buy every new keg because I've got a family to help them feed as well.
The Stella Unfiltered you had, didn't you? You tried that on Perfect Draft?
That was lovely. Yeah.
I tried it in bottle, hated it. But everyone says on the Perfect Draft that it is a different beer.
It is different. It's the carbonation on the bottle is much harsher. Whereas the Wanda said actually she had Copperberg. They do pints of Copperberg in spoons earlier, and she'd had it before. And she had the point, and she said, "Oh, it's easier." So that's because the carbonation isn't so high. So you get that draft quality. So it knocks that little bit of carbonation off, gives it that nice, smooth the body, and the same as beer, it just makes it easier to fucking drink.
Yeah. The Pro machine even sets the temperature now, doesn't it? You can set it to.
I'm not sold on the Pro machine. I'm not. It looks ugly.
£50 or something it costs.
Yeah, it looks ugly. I think I do like the ability to set your temperature,
yeah.
but then
an extra £100 I'm not sure.
If I'm having a stout, I've not had a stout on the PD, but even with an IPA, if you pour it out, you keep it out for about 5-10 minutes, it's going to warm up anyway. And the app, I don't see the point.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I mean, who would bother with the app? You just go in and press the button anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's not like setting it from your work. You're not going to go, "Oh, I'm going to set it from my work, so when I get home, it's ready."
So Brad says, like you said, Mark, I'd rather spend the £24 admission down the pub with my mates. It's not about the place when you're out for me. It's about the company. And I agree with that.
Yeah, if it was £10 to get in, I'd say, do you know what? Fair enough, because you could have a nice evening with your mates there and try some beers you're not likely to see. But £24, I just thought, come on, that's extortionate.
I don't know how much Wonder. How much were the tickets for Warrior Fest? Can you remember?
They were bought about 2 years ago.
Yeah. If you say £20 each. £15 each, but I would rather do that and support local.
Yeah, as we said earlier, because all that money, you'd like to think it's all going to stay here in the Portsmouth, Hampshire area.
Wanda did say though she's justified because she's over there. The one thing she would like to go back to, hello Sassy, you're right, is the Christmas beer market. The LC, I think it's from the same company for LCBS.
Yeah, I saw your video on that.
And she loved that, and I like that too because it wasn't too big. I'm not a massive fan of crowds, if I'm honest.
No, nor me. nor me. I've realised that now, especially in my last London trip last week. I
What,
went to
sorry?
camp. Never again.
She said they're Thornbridge Wonderland, so she was happy.
Well, they're probably advertising that now, like because they normally advertise these things.
They're not. They're not actually. I think they're waiting for LCBF next week, and then they'll probably start advertising that now. Jonathan Brown, Northern Summer Beer Reviews. Hello, Scott and Mark. Hope you're well.
Mate.
We're keeping well, mate. Darren says, I only started watching this channel because of Wanda. Well, most people do, to be fair. Dave says he's never owned a compass.
I have. I was in the Scouts and the Air Cadets. So, yeah. But why did he say that?
Because he's a fucking idiot. That's why. Blue Van Man says, nice to see Scott's drinking orange juice with vitamin C. Dickhead. When you got friends like this, mate, you don't need enemies. Brad Emerson said, I like an innocent gun lager on a nice day around the barbecue, but nothing to shout home about.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've ever had the normal innocent gun. The ones I had were like the limited edition ones. So maybe I should buy a bottle of this innocent gun lager and give it a go after slating them. Maybe I should review it. Maybe I should review it.
Do it, mate. Do it. So Benjamin says, I forget the name of it, but there was a innocent gun in supermarkets in big bottles. Forget it now, but it was a great beer, strong too.
I do remember in the bottles, yeah.
So Dave's just messaged me on WhatsApp saying, you mentioned a moral compass about half an hour ago, and he said he hasn't got a compass.
Okay.
Stuntman Steve said, that's why I go back into brewing again. I can't justify paying for beer. I know Dean said this morning that his days of reviewing really expensive craft beer are done.
Cans, yeah.
Can't justify it anymore.
I know. I'm surprised the breweries are still making them.
Well, our energy bills doubled this week. So, it's...
have you come off your sort of like fixed rate?
Oh, well, I assume so. So it doubled. So
mine's until July. But come July, God knows what it'll be by then. Because I'm on my own, it's not. Because I'm on my own, it's not massive anyway.
Well, I've told her because she'd be hot. She'd be cold in a kiln, about 1,000,000 degrees. Wanda. I've told her in the winter she's gonna have to put fucking 3 coats on or something.
And I just stay at the Travel Lodge at King's Cross. It's permanently hot there all year round. It was 33 degrees in my room. It was 27 degrees outside.
Jesus Christ. Southend have got a new sponsor for the West Wing. It's now be called the Gilbert and Rose. Oh, Jesus Christ. Rose West Stand.
That's gone over my head. That one.
Dave's on about something.
That's gone over my head, BVM. Sorry.
I don't know. All I know is Rose West is that she was.
Rose West. She was
Fred
people. West. Fred West. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Sid Cannon, how are you doing? Steve, Sid's a nice old guy.
Yeah,
he's another guy that's very sensible in his comments.
He is, yes. And he's around the same age as me, so he tends to get all my TV references and stuff like that. Some of my jokes go over people's heads because they're all sort of reference to the 80s and that, and people just ignore them.
Right, 2 seconds. Wanda.
So I don't know if I should carry on speaking.
No. I was just trying to sort something out. Wanda.
Oh no, I was thinking if I carried on speaking, would they hear me?
Yeah, I only mute myself. I don't mute you.
Oh, see, I didn't know we had dead noise or I was speaking, so
That's true. The fans are kicking off about what?
Oh, that Rose West thing, I suppose.
So the Gilbert and Rose West End. I don't know what you have to elaborate on that, Dave. Because I don't know anything about that.
Southend.
Now I need a wee.
Well, you can go for your wee if you want, or you can end it.
We need to leave you with a topic of something to discuss while I'm gone.
Okay. Yeah, feel free.
So,
anything about one thing, just not that bloke. Anything about him. Because that's all you want. Everyone wants to talk to me. It's always about him.
Right, I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay. I can't see the chat until it comes up on here.
So it says, Worst beer you've had this year?
Oh, dear.
Right, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Oh, worst beer I've had this year would either be Stella Unfiltered, which was awful, absolutely awful. Stella Unfiltered. See, it's on my Untapped, but it's on my phone. I'm using the camera as the phone. So, Stella Unfiltered or the Guinness 00, as in the alcohol-free Guinness. That was pretty bad as well. That was I'd probably say Stella Unfiltered. And then the Guinness 00. But I'm sure I'm missing one out somewhere that I tipped straight down the drain as well. Can't remember what it is called though. So yeah, anybody in the chat got anything to say? I don't know. Is the chat coming up? I don't know. It's not my live, so and I'm a bit weird when it comes to tech stuff on here. But yeah, Stella Unfiltered is my worst beer this year. But I'm pretty sure I'm missing a beer out that I just can't remember. So, but I've come round now to drinking some of these macro lagers. The Helvie, made by Tennant's, which apparently is a Belgian monk recipe. It's quite nice on a hot day. £1.70 for a 6.6 ml bottle. That's okay. Oh no, I had that Peroni, the different Peroni, the reserve one or whatever it is. That was awful. That I had 3 sips of that and stuck that down the drain as well. So there's not getting any I don't think anyone's seeing I'm not getting the messages flick through. So either nobody's watching or nobody's commenting, or you're commenting and I can't read the text. Let me see if I do this and see if I can read them. Oh, now I can see it. Worst beer, the Ukrainian lager sold in supermarkets in packs of 10. Anything that has citrus and other fruits in it, I'm not touching Ukrainian beer either.
Yeah, but he's a fucking idiot, isn't he?
Okay, I had to flick to the comments, so I took the screen off.
Ukrainian lager. So I never picked that up. I've seen it in every bloody.
I've not drunk any Ukrainian lager out of principle, not because I'm pro-Russian, just.
I just don't think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to do anything.
I wonder how much of this money that's been sold on the pretext of help Ukraine's actually going to Ukraine. Well, that's their trees.
Yeah, I think I'm at the same point. How much is it actually going to help them? I'd rather do it in other ways that's going to help, actually. And I just don't agree with it, if I'm honest.
And as I say, there's more to it than just that. So, but yeah, I don't know this Ukrainian lager. I said the Stella Unfiltered was probably the worst, and the Guinness 00.
I've not had the Guinness 0. I've the worst beer for me. What did I review? Mango number 5 this year? Or was it last year?
I've seen your video. I've seen a couple of people's videos.
Mango number 5. I don't know if that was last year or this year.
It was it looked like a pretty bad beer.
To be fair, that Donkey Stone the other day.
Yeah, I saw you liked it.
No, the other one.
Oh, the Crush and Candy one again.
Yeah,
well, that didn't shock me because my nickname for Donkey Stone is Donkey
Shite.
Yeah. You shocked me yesterday or the day before when you liked one.
Well, to be fair, we went round to get something for Wanda, and I wanted to pick them both up, so I was going to pick up Space Paranoids as well. Cheers, Dave. See you later. And I couldn't find it, and for some reason I missed it in our local one, so I picked it up, and it was all right. I can't say it's shit if it's not shit.
No, you did the right thing, and as long as it's okay and it's drinkable and it's cold and it's a hot day and it's reasonably priced, then what more do you want, isn't it?
I mean, it was only the price. The problem I had with it was the price. Obviously, when you're selling a 3.7% beer the same price as a 7% beer, I have a massive issue with that. I don't agree with it, and I think that was they were both. So it was 179 for a 3.7% beer when you could pick up the Love Lane, which is 7.5%, and that's the same price, and that's the problem I have, and that's nothing to do with Donkey Stone. That's to do with Lidl and their pricing scheme.
Their price, they've gone up 10p. They used to be, I think last year, most of these festival beers were 169. So I suppose, but then everything has gone up, isn't it? So,
but I picked up a beer. Best beer of the year, anything by Moore Brewery.
I've not had a more beer this year, but I feel like I've missed out. Yeah.
I picked up a beer. I'm not going to say what it is because I need to pick it up again because it infuriated me. Because it was genuinely one of the best beers in a supermarket you could get. And it's no longer the same beer. And it's annoyed me so much that I'm going to pick it up. I'll pick it up again. I'm going to do a video on it. And that was what prompted the thing the other day of what beers changed the most.
Yes, I put London Pride on your comment on that.
Yeah, so it's not London Pride.
No.
Someone has guessed it in the comments.
It's the one I've got in my fridge that I bought in February and haven't got around to drinking it yet.
What is it?
I got Track. Is it Track? Not Track. Salt or whatever it's called.
Salt Tram.
Tram. Yeah.
Tram. I've not had Tram
it's
for a
in my
little
fridge
while.
from February, so the hops have faded really badly now.
Yeah, Tram's is a cracking beer. I've not had Tram for a little while. Me and Dean did a joint review of Tram.
To drink it.
Yeah, me and Dean did a joint review of Tram when Wanda was in hospital with Leah, and he was having a little sabbatical from YouTube, and I called in a favour from him, and we ended up doing a live afterwards. But it's not Tram, but it enraged me, and I had a discussion with Dean earlier about is it the brewery's fault or is it the supermarket's fault, and whose line does this fall with? And he made a really good point, and I'm going to bring it up in the video when I actually get to do it.
Yeah, don't spoil your video. Don't spoil it.
Because I think it's really worthwhile, and the beer in question, the people that have had it, and the people that have had it now, it's not Punk IPA, it's none of it's not Life and Death or anything like that. But it is a beer that has been completely ruined by price point.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing now, isn't it? Because it's an old trick, isn't it? They don't want to put the price up. So in things like chocolate and washing powder, they just shrink it. But for beer, they have to change the recipe slightly in cheaper hops.
I think also me and Dean
hops at all.
Well, me and Dean had the conversation earlier of if and when these new beer drops in supermarkets happen. You're right. You do. Get them quickly. Get them quickly because at some point they're going to change, and they're not going to change for the better. So the quicker you can get them from their release date to 6 months down the line, there where the ingredients start being pulled out slightly to meet that price point is critical. And it's just sad. It's just, and I don't know who is there a blame? I don't know.
Well, I think people are complacent as well, though, because I think you said to me once on some other subject, you just don't care. And I think a lot of shoppers or just beer people that just want a beer and don't review them or just don't enjoy them maybe as much as they maybe should, just will drink it and go, yeah, whatever, and people know that. Just get them in, hook you, and then reel it back slowly.
I was going to make a whole video. I was going to make a whole video on the Tesco craft beer range because I don't know if if anybody else
mentioned it on his video. You've mentioned it slightly on one of yours, and I've looked at my little Tesco, and even on the little one, it's shrunk. Yeah,
so they've got rid of any single 330ml cans. They've all gone.
Yeah.
So all they've got now is they used to have a whole 4 or 5 shelves of bits of like 440 mils,
Mm.
330 mils, and then you had the boxes. It's all gone. So
It's
now
all-
what they've got is about 2, 3 maximum of one Brewdog range all the way across,
Brewdog is still there, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the other bits and pieces, and then it's just box, box, box,
Box
box,
sets,
box.
yeah.
And
And
it's
even Morrison's are beginning to do that a bit more now.
yeah,
We got a
and
lot
I
of
think
Morrison's in Glasgow, and I've
and
noticed.
I think the supermarket craft beer revolution, I think it's beginning to end.
It's peaked. I think
Yeah.
it's peaked, and now it will just go like that, and then it will come down a bit, and then it will end up being box sets, and what you had before it sort of, you know. I wonder if that guy, was his name Dom? Is it Dom on Tesco? And there's the guy from
He's Domo.
Domo, and there's Morrison guy as well.
Moza beers.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still doing it, or maybe they've decided now they don't need them, and they just, you know.
I think the thing with you can stick craft on anything, and you can knock a couple of quid on anything, food, or anything.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with Dean again earlier, and I think the days
craft, isn't it?
I think the days of people being able to afford it are gone, and also the boom has gone as well.
Yeah, and people will see the problem you got as well. Summer, everyone feels really joyous in summer, and will probably spend a bit more than they should because it's summer and everyone's great. But you wait until it's dark by 5 o'clock, and your bills are going up energy. Christmas is coming, and that'll be in your face. You got to buy this, and suddenly, oh, I don't know if I can afford to buy that beer now, or buy that expensive thing. And then after Christmas, when no one generally has money anyway, and the government ain't going to keep throwing money at everyone just to keep you going. So that's why I thought the breweries might say, okay, well, let's not knock out £8 cans. Let's get people reasonable beer at £4 and £3.50 a can. You know, let's do our bit as well, and then when things improve, then we can start doing the £6-7 cans again. But it doesn't seem to be that way, because breweries have had a good little run, and now they're thinking, let's keep going. Not all of them. Not all of them. There are some generally good ones who still know that their customers are, you know, remember their original customers, not the ones that can afford to say spend £8. Yeah.
Brad Edmonds says, worst beer, that chocolate stout, whatever it was called, from Home Bargains.
I saw that. I never bought it.
Dreadful.
You bought it, didn't you? And reviewed
Was that the Christmas pudding one? Fucking awesome.
Raggy did it, and a couple of other people did it. And I looked at it in Home Bargains and said, no way, Jose, am I buying that? The worst Home Bargains do have some good stuff occasionally for 99p. But it tends to be sort of like the lagery stuff. And what's it called? Homestead?
B&M. The what?
The brewery in Home Bargains is there's a brewery called begins with H, and they do some good stuff. They normally have for about 99p.
I don't go in Home Bargains, to be fair.
I haven't been for a month or so.
I picked up that Neapolitan stout for Wanda. She quite liked that. It was okay, and I think it had been in Home Bargains. We picked it up in B&M. It's
I've had Neapolitan. Is it Northern Monks Neapolitan when they first did it?
Yeah, I wasn't
years ago. It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right. I don't think we ever reviewed that. I don't think I ever turned the camera on.
It's hard to get that type of beers right, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Ben says the world is fucked. I thank Mark for being negative on everything.
He does.
But the truth is, the world is fucked. These last 6 months are going to be real eye openers. Trying to cut back costs, increase it, mate. I don't disagree at all. Me and Wanda have had this conversation this week. It's hard, man, and it's going to get harder.
I think I've got one of these videos I recorded a couple of weeks ago, which hasn't come out yet, where I talk about, will people suddenly realise they've overspent during the summer because it's been great? And
we have.
You can't blame people, because I said in the video they've been stuck in for 2 years, so you can't blame people for wanting to go to festivals or just get out to the pub in the garden or whatever. But these energy bills are going through the roof, and rent and energy are probably 75% of people's income.
we walked up the road earlier to Wanda's going to have her hair done. She's cancelled that. Can't afford it. So I said to her, we were sat out here last night. We've been playing cards. We got a bench here.
Yeah, you're very lucky to have a nice little garden. I've only got a communal garden downstairs.
Yeah, so we played cards a couple of nights, and we were sat over there, and she said, "Are you thinking the same as I am?" I'm like, "So should we go to the Brewer's Tap?" I'm like, "I am. Can't afford it." So we went off down to cancel the hair appointment, and you have to walk. And she was on about something for Greg's, so we're going walking past. Greg's is literally next to Spoons. So I said to her, "We're gonna have a beer. Can we afford it?" We had two. And then went over to Lidl that's across there, literally across from it, picked a couple of beers up. She's got a couple, I've got a couple. That's it. We're not, it's something has to give at some point. And, you can't go around throwing money.
No. And I think I'm going to do another video on it at some point, but was it Benjamin? Yeah, Benjamin is right. I realise now I can't put out like 7, 8 negative videos, boom, 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 because everybody knows it's tough, but not everyone wants to be reminded of it. And sometimes I have to remember that.
Yeah, people. I think we've had this discussion anyway. People turn on to get away from their life.
Yeah.
And sometimes we all forget that, And
I forget that a lot, especially with my channel, which is just me. So it's very easy to be sort of narrow focused and say, right, this is what's wrong with the world. You're all doomed. Don't bother getting up. And the last thing you want when you've got 2 hours of spare time is, shall I watch EastEnders? No, that's too miserable. Shall I put Mark the Pondering On Man? Oh God, he's worse than EastEnders.
But then
we'll go to Scott and Wanda because they're going to be up and cheerful.
But then also we all know, and we all know that drama and negativity sells.
Yes.
And that's the saddest part of anything you do.
Yeah.
Is that on your channel? Obviously, there are a couple of videos that are way above everything else. On our channel, there's a couple of videos that are way above everything. And it's just sad that it's negative that sells when there's so much positivity out there. Yeah. And that's the biggest part that I think is it's a bit shit, really.
Going back to the shorts we were talking about earlier, I've now realised I don't look at my views so much. Well, I used to look at them. So I don't look at them, but today I had a quick glance at the shorts, and my best part of my London trip, because it wasn't a great trip, was walking near Tavistock and Russell Square, and then just looking up, because I watched John Rogers, the guy who does walking videos. He said you should always look up, and I looked up, and there was a blue plaque. Kenneth Williams lived here, 1930 to 1950, whatever it was, and that made my trip. That did. So I did the little video on it for the short. And most of my shorts now normally get a couple of hundred, so I'm quite happy with that. 33. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I know he's been gone a long time and it's a different generation, but it just upset me that something that was I thought was a positive thing. No me moaning, being happy seeing that, got 33. And then when I'm moaning about in my bedroom about, oh, this is really bad, 452.
Yeah, again, negativity sells.
There you go, I've got cramp in my leg.
Right. So Ben says,
I mentioned negativity and my leg went.
The supermarkets are onto a winner, but they got greedy and flooded the market with gimmick beers and ice cream concentrates. Ignore the last part. He also said only an idiot would buy a home bargains beer and expect anything but toilet cleaner.
Oh no, occasionally they can be okay. Hawkshead, that's the brewery I was thinking of.
Hawkshead.
Yeah. Their lager, or the Hellish lager, I got 3 of them for 99p. Perfect. Couldn't fault them.
Well, I pick them up for shits and giggles now, and just for something. I just think it's cheap.
I think a lot of people do now with those ones.
Right, mate. I'm going to have to go because my dinner is here.
Yes,
I'm not going to make it. Yeah, I'm not going to make it go cold.
Okay. Well, you've cheered me up, Scott. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for
something else to think about. So
just before we go, West Ham fan TV legendary Pixel, over 20,000 views on your channel, Mark. Glad you didn't pack the tubes in, Scott. Thank you ever so much. Me and this lady, we get on most of the time. Sometimes we have some disagreements, but genuinely we get on all right. and we're not going anywhere. So thank you everybody that's joined in. Impromptu. Thank you, Mark, for coming
No
on
problem
and
at all. No problem at all. Yes,
joining me.
That way.
And I'm sure we will do something again in the future.
Yes. Well, I want to be in that shed at some point.
You can come. You're always welcome, pal. So have a good evening. Have a great week.
You as well, Scott, and everyone out. Thank you for watching.
And we'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.
No worries. Bye.